are you doing this Saturday morning? Huh? Do you guys like Saturday afternoon games? That way you can write your stories and then go to the bar? Huh? That's what this is all about? Yeah, I'm with you there. It was the other night, that's for sure.
Do you have a sense that news was coming yesterday about Joel after what happened against him?
Oh, you mean,
Not meant the knee part.
yeah. I had a sense, but we didn't know at the time. So
Is your sense that you will not have him for as long as this series goes, whether it's today or beyond that?
I don't know. I can't answer that. But I'm not sure. I will say that.
You've
Do you have an idea who you're starting?
Yeah.
Want to say?
You'll find out. I guarantee you.
you've been in this position before, though, without Joel this season and found ways to win, which has been a
Yeah.
theme. What are some of the strengths that the group puts together when he isn't on the floor?
Well, the word group. We're a group. We've had this. We've had practice at this. And so we got a confident group. We have a deep basketball team. Obviously, losing Joel takes away a lot of stuff. It changes the way the game will be played tonight. I will invite them if they would like to trap, all our fives tonight. I would be really appreciative of that. I don't think they should change their game plan at all. But I got a feeling they will. And so we have to, almost figure that out as the game goes on. I mean, it'll be a new coverages. I think our guys have to be ready for that.
Yeah, that's actually, Doc, what I was going to ask is what are you now expecting defensively? Just because maybe they will do what you said, but I'm guessing they probably will not.
Yeah, I think you're very wise in that. Listen, they'll switch. That's what they usually do. They switch a lot of stuff, and so they'll go back to doing that a lot. They'll trap James now more. I think you'll see a lot of running jumps with James. So he'll get a lot of attention as well, and then even Maxey a little bit.
I mean, Joel looked hurt a couple times during the game the other night, but that happens a lot with him. And, he looks like something's hurting him. What sort of triggered to know that he needed either testing or a night off or whatever?
Just the tests after the game in the locker room. I mean, you think about it, down the stretch, he made two amazing plays. The block shot was huge. But from my understanding, they checked his knee out right after the game because he was complaining about some sore behind the knee, which is always a scary thing when it's behind the knee with players. And they were swelling already, which is way too early. And so we did the MRI. As a coach, I hate that word. I hate those three letters. I mean, because it never comes out well. It just feels like that whenever they tell a coach, hey, we're going to get an MRI. It doesn't turn out well most of the time, and this one did not.
Is that when do you get worried anytime you see him limping, or it's not until they tell you?
Yeah, no, I don't. Only after, because guys get hit. Joel's a big, and, it was funny. I'm watching Denver last night, and Jokic just laying on the floor and getting hit and limping around. And, they just do. They have to. I mean, that's just part of the game in that part of it. They're just big and physical, and the only way to try to stop them is by being big and physical. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way the game is played. You don't have to.
That'll be an easy one. Just coming off of Thursday's night game when it was an intense atmosphere, with this being a game for Brooklyn, a must-win game, just what's your expectations from your group and just your message to how to manage just the atmosphere and vibe?
Well, I mean, it's a little different because you lose, Joel, and so, you got to get your guys ready just for the game in general, and then you also know that they're playing to stay alive. I always say both teams are desperate. Both teams want to win, so I don't think that's – but one team is trying to stay alive, and one team is trying to end the series. So I think there's desperation on both teams in that way. It's just a different way of looking at it.
with the Nets doubling Joel so much, it's just been a lot of get the ball to him, get it out quick, and a lot of open shots for you guys,
Yeah.
not as much pick and roll.
Yeah.
Do you think it's difficult to get back into that rhythm today if they change their defensive scheme?
Well, they are going to change. We don't need to discuss that. But having said that, I don't. I mean, when Joel's off the floor in those 10 minutes, 12 minutes that he's off the floor, we go back to playing the way we play, and we've had some pretty good runs there. So we just got to find. We got a collection of bigs. We have a lot of guys that can play basketball on our team, and we got to find the right group that can win games for us.
Coach, a lot of times when the best player on a team goes down, that team tends to struggle, right? And especially with a guy like Joel who's had injury issues over his career. How do you as a coach kind of like prepare your team for in case of this eventuality?
Yeah, I don't talk about it. I've not told our guys one thing about Joel. I mean, they already know, right? Everyone watches and reads, and I never do. Not just because it's today. I never talk about injured players. I just don't. I won't go in the locker room, and there will be not one word mentioned about who's not here. I just don't do that, and maybe that's what's been successful for us because we only talk about who's here and what we're doing. I'm gonna walk in and we're gonna talk about the game tonight. That's it, and. They know how I'm going to have the expectation that we should win the game. You have to have that as a coach. You have to make sure your players believe that, and that's what I'll do.
Doc, building off of that, I guess, once you get past this game, how do you keep Joel from falling into the trap of, this is like Groundhog Day all over again? Where
Yeah, I
it's
talked to him
something every
last
year?
night. I mean, obviously, clearly that's on your mind. Like, it is, but as I said, this is another obstacle in the story that we're going to write this year, and you're going to be okay. It may take a minute, but this is just part of it, and that's to me like I'm sure like he's human, and goodness, this happens again. So let's get him. Let's win. Let's get him back on the floor, and let's just keep. On our own journey, and that's basically what we talked about last night.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys.